Hello and welcome to the In the Money Players podcast. This is our show for Saturday, June 13th, Monmouth Pick Your Prize Day, Monmouth Haskell Preview Day. Peter Thomas Fornatale back with you in the Brooklyn bunker once again. Wish I were heading down to Monmouth on Saturday. I got down there for opening day and had a blast. I have a good excuse though. Going to be on a plane to England. Royal Ascot coverage next week. You can find that on this very In the Money Media YouTube channel, and also extra stuff, including picks every day, top tips from Rob Dove, one of the top 10 pro punters in the UK today. Check that out, inthemoneypodcast.com/plus. But on this show, our focus is going to be on the Jersey Shore, and who better than the reigning champion from that event to join us to talk about some of these races. Jonathon Kinchen, how are things?
Things are good. Knicks in 5, it seems. That was a pretty exciting game last night. I think without a doubt the biggest comeback in history for various reasons. I've watched a lot of basketball in my life. I've never seen a comeback like that in a game as important as that.
Right. I mean, it's very similar to the Atlanta one in the other round, but I mean, this is the finals. This is this amazing Spurs team who fought to the wire. It's not like they caved and went away exactly. It was exciting to see. I'm not a real Knicks fan anymore. I lived and died with them in the 90s. When this team came in 10 minutes down the street from me, I sort of went that way instead. A very regrettable decision, but I know what it's like to be a real fan, and I'm not a real Knicks fan at this point. But just as a sports fan, that was just incredible entertainment. Down 20 in the fourth, Zenyatta-like comeback from the Knicks at the Garden. And we'll see. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me at all to see the Spurs win the next one and bring it back here. And based on that energy in the Garden, I'm not sure that would be the worst thing in the world. We'll see how it plays out on the hardwood. Right now, we're going to take a look at how it's going to play out on the oval down there at Monmouth Park. Of course, pick your prize. This is, we think, JK, right up there with the very best contest offered all year. I did want to highlight one element of it that's been a big hit with players. There's a $100,000 bonus this time around if someone wins the Pick Your Prize contest on site and then sticks around and wins the Sunday contest. We've seen players, including yourself, win contests in bunches. Not an impossible thing. I know you are going to be on television on Saturday, so you will not have the ability to take advantage of this offer, but that's one less player people have to contend with if they're going to show up there on site. If you're interested in playing, go to the Monmouth Park website. You'll find all the info. I'll get a link in the description of this video and hopefully the podcast version as well. Sign up and play. There are ADW options, but this in-person option, that's the one I really want folks to be paying attention to, with that extra 100 that will be awarded in a bonus if somebody can pull off that impressive feat. Looks like it's going to be over $300,000 in prize money. So I'll just ask it to you plain. You going to defend your title?
Shoot, I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Unfortunately, I won't. I'm working on site at Aqueduct, so on Saturday. So it'll be, it'll have to be an ADW situation for me. Unfortunately, I won't be able to participate in the potential bonus, it's an awesome thing though. It's pretty exciting. Imagine winning on Saturday and then know you're drawing live on Sunday for $100,000. So that's pretty cool.
It's such an underrated racing experience to be out there at Monmouth too. I really, really love it. A lot of fun stuff going on in the area. Get there early, stay late, check out some of the local stuff. It's so much fun down on the Jersey Shore. I look forward to getting back. But if you're going to win this contest, if you're going to do well in this contest, and again, one of the reasons we love this contest is you basically are in the money down to 34th, depending on what kind of a prize you're looking for. No comments from you. But so you don't necessarily have to go for the gusto to win. But I mean, to ask you a question that really shouldn't even be asked, because I know the answer already. You're a winner go home kind of guy, or could you see laying up for one of those BCBC seats here?
I mean, look, it all really kind of comes down to where I'm at. If I can catch, if say I'm in second place or third place, if I can catch the leader doing what I want, then I'll go for it. But I'm not going to do something I don't necessarily want to do to try to catch the leader. Like, I'm not going to, if I think it's a 2-horse race and I can construct some exactas to get there with those 2 horses winning, great, I'll do it. If I have to toss one or like make one of them the horse, I won't. I'll lay up.
Yeah, there's still so many, so much cash, so many BCBC seats, so many NHC seats. monmouthpark.com/handicapping hyphen contests. That's the URL. But again, I will pop that in the appropriate places and or have the team do so. And I know some contest players get cagey when it comes to giving picks on shows that they're on. You have always, I mean, you've gone on shows before your big BCBC scores, not exactly told people precisely how you were going to approach it, but basically say what you were going to do, follow that, and win. Why are you not concerned about giving, quote unquote, giving your stuff away here?
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it's more about how you bet it than what you're betting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think enjoying is going to be tough. Like, okay, well, what are you going to do with that? You know what I mean? So there's that. The other part of it is the other race. I guess in the last race, like a super strong opinion, you know, could backfire, but I'm not too worried.
Let's talk about the races, my friend. We'll begin with race number 6. We'll do this pick 5 that closes things out, and we start off with stakes action on the turf. Monmouth Stakes is the one here. I was a little bit surprised to see Program Trading's name among the entries. Were you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of those prep days. Obviously, Chad has plans for him to probably run on Haskell Day, so why not get the local prep around here? He's got enough horses to spread around. Yeah, Program Trading is a grade 1 type animal. Some of his performances are really much better than what we've seen from a lot of these other ones. For me, I mean, he feels like the type, depending on your other opinions in the sequence, the type of horse that you could single. I suppose I'd like to have Sandpipes as a backup, as a B type, if I can have that one down on the inside with Paco. Should end up working out a pretty good trip. And then obviously you got to pay attention to this first time US Nebras, I guess, or Nebras, or whatever we're calling the one for Chad on the outside. The problem is that horse's best performances have been at 1.25 miles. This is 1.125 miles, but first time US. You know, I mean, this horse can win by 4, but I'll probably let this one beat me.
I picked Nebras in this spot. A very good pedigree, half brother to Nashua. You're right. Could be too sharp, this configuration. But the fact that Chad Brown puts him here, I thought was very interesting. We know he handles tight left-handed. That can be a question with these European shippers. And just, you know, my best guesses as to figure estimations would put this horse at around a 90 buyer speed figure. And I'm just going to go with that since it's not necessarily going to be fully priced in. I was boring. 8-4. You okay fading Radari in this spot? I wasn't going to use, but that was the other one I wanted to ask you about, the 2-runner in here.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I mean, I think I'd be much happier to have Sandpipes as a backup than Radari.
All right, let's go on to race number 7 on this card. We've got an allowance race for these Jersey breds going the mile 70, and we've got Happy Offering back in the mix. Looked like the best speed to me. Paco Lopez picking up the mount certainly seems significant. Stretching back out, third time off the layoff. Just a lot of arrows pointing in this direction. Last Romance was one to mention as well. Tough Old Warrior, 7-14 in the exacta at Monmouth. Maybe the one to benefit if they go too fast up front. I don't think I'm splitting any atoms telling you 10-6 are the numbers here. How do you see it, JK?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this race was a little bit more wide open. You know, I think just like looking from a figure standpoint, seeing what horses have improved out of spots. I thought that, you know, I don't love closers in dirt races, but I thought, you know, Cass Sweet Heist wasn't impossible on the trainer change. It's hard without numbers. The 6 is Last Romance, another one who I thought, you know, had gone the distance, has been going the 2 turns. One that was in the mix for me. Has exited some races, some key races where horses have run well out of those. Doing this, the 7, another one that has those even looking pace figures going shorter that I like when horses try to stretch out. It feels like the type that will stretch out well and has run well going 2 turns before. And the 8 Holiday Express, the last 3 races have not been very good. Those have all been sprinting. There were some previous races that were a little bit better figures going a mile. If you look at that race 4 back, I thought this was a more wide open spot. Happy Offering obviously has a lot of early speed, has a lot of tactical speed, is drawn well. But I don't think Happy Offering has to win. I'll spread in here 1, 6, 7, 8, 10.
That's it. JK tries math, succeeds. Do you want to grade those at all, or is this a no top pick spread situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're, in a situation like this where you're reluctantly adding the favorite, I think there's a reason to not necessarily have to grade them. I think the grading is kind of assumed. You're using the horse who's going to be more bet the same as you're using the other ones. That reflects your opinion. I'm okay with tickets like that as long as it reflects my opinion.
That's good. I'm going to say for the notes we send around to our In the Money Plus friends, no top pick spread. And yeah, you're right. You're sort of baking in a soft fade of the favorite by using 4 other runners in this spot. I do have numbers via our friends at Timeform US, where the numbers are always in there. So feel free to just say names and I'll button you up on the numbers. Just don't go too fast and we'll make that magic happen. The hinge of the late pick 5 is race number 8, this maiden claimer going a mile on the turf. I think you already tipped your hand where you're going in here. Who do you like?
Yeah, and enjoying to me is going to be tough to beat. He's one of those types that has run well enough in the maiden special weight ranks. And, I think when you look at the operations, like, you see Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, I've always find that kind of the operations that dance on the big dances and they're a little bit quicker to part ways with a type that isn't a stakes type. Doesn't necessarily have to be a non-runner. Could be very productive for someone else. It feels like enjoying could be one of those. Just run the horse where they can win, where they belong, where they're supposed to be. If someone decides to take them from you, so be it, and turn the page.
Very interesting to see that horse popping up on a day like this. It just seems to lay over the field. One angle I thought was a little bit interesting to mention. I cannot recall, and I'm not seeing it in the numbers, Paco Lopez riding for Graham Motion. That seemed like an interesting combo. Is that new? Is that a new notion to you? Anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really noticed it. Yeah, I guess it's not. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see the. Huh.
Usually it would pop up in the form there, unless I'm looking at the wrong thing. I did have one other horse to talk about in here. I shouldn't say obviously. I also had Enjoying on top. The 7 Lucky Louisa, I thought was worth maybe a quick look. Authentic filly with Gaffleone. That was interesting. Potential intent. I just thought that debut run was a little bit better than it looked, breaking poorly, sticking on okay against the flow. Breeding isn't terribly turfy though, and Enjoying probably too tough. But I will probably at least have a 5-7 exacta to mess around with in that spot as I try to pull up these jockey trainer numbers. They have combined.
I see 0 for 3, right?
0 for 3, exactly. It has happened before, not successfully. That may well change when it comes to Saturday. Back to graded stakes for the Salvatore Mile. We're going the 1 mile right here at Monmouth, and we got some interesting runners. I thought the defending champ Bishop's Bay, again, not splitting any atoms here, looked like the one for Cox and Pratt. Very, very successful horse on the career. And I just thought it would set up right. This is not a need to lead speed horse. This is a speed horse who can track. I think that should play right in here. Antiquarian kind of just horrified him last time. And, Antiquarian on a figure basis didn't run that badly in the Met Mile when you think about how well Nisos ran. So I think that the Bishop's Bay representative effort probably gets the job done. The one to mess around with more for underneath, but I'll use for a penny on top, I thought was the 8 Awfully Cool. Deep closer, could benefit if they go too fast. Bishop's Bay joins that party too early. Has some decent looking works and just looked like a horse that might be able to outrun the odds in underneath terms. I did not use, but I'll start the questions for you by asking about a horse that I feel like you've liked a lot throughout his career, East Avenue. Are you with him or against him here? And how do you think the Salvatore Mile is going to play out?
Yeah, sadly, it doesn't seem like he's really progressed. I hadn't really necessarily grown up. I would have hoped or expected that he would have run a little bit faster in his last 2 races. For me, I thought this was a 3 horse situation. Bishop's Bay, of course, I'll take. Otter Mischief, I wanted to have off those fast figures at Parks. Sometimes that Parks form has no problem translating to Monmouth. And then I want to use Grande. Grande ran entirely too fast a couple times already this year in February and March to ignore the fact that his Ali Sheba could have been an aberration, right? I mean, it was a tough race, obviously, and I'll give him another shot. So Grande, Otter, Mischief, and Bishop's Bay.
652 in that order. Are you happy with that?
Yeah. No. I'd be more of a 2-6-5.
Okay, 265. Trying to get through there and get to the lucky last intact in these pick bets. Let's see what you think about this one. Turf allowance going 1 mile and a 16th when it comes to the Monmouth Park Pick Your Prize contest this year. JK, how are we going to get paid?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is one of those situations where, like, in the contest, I'll be trying to make my move prior to this. I don't have a strong opinion here. I think a lot of these horses make sense. I think debt limit, obviously, is one you'd want to have. Relative value is one it's hard not to have. Late call was another one that was in the mix for me. Golden Channel was one that I liked. I thought that the race 2 back, although the pace wasn't particularly quick, I thought ran well. Post Command is one that in multi-race races I don't want to be wagers I want to be alive to. This race is and I think it's intentional if I'm not mistaken. Like I think that a lot of contest players love these turf races, and Brian Skirka is a man of the people. And I would imagine that there's a phone call to the racing office that says, let's make the last a big full field where they all look the same.
It's going to be fun to see how it plays out. In terms of A's and B's, anything, or just list a big spread 10-8-6-5-4?
Yeah, 10-8-6-5-4. I mean, I'm all over the place here. It's just there's just too much going on in the spot like this to try to narrow it down. Like I said, in the contest, I'll be trying to make my moves ahead of time. I don't want this to be the race I need to try to defend the title.
I liked Golden Channel best here for George Weaver. Tactical speed, I thought would get the best trip. The presumptive second brown runner, relative value, I thought was interesting. Being by Blue Point, sprinter, I thought cutting back to a more suitable distance might bring that one forward. Gaffleone turning up. One you didn't mention was Tifosi, and this is a stretch because this horse, just won the maiden on the slop and doesn't exactly scream turf, but the dam was actually solid on turf. The dam ran figures in the 80s. I had never heard of this dam sire, and I had to look the horse up, and was a very modest, I don't know, maybe like a backyard racehorse who somehow got to cover some mares, and not a lot going on there, but was a turf horse as well. So that also made me think, hey, maybe, just maybe, Lone Star Special, the dam sire, can get a turf winner here in the last at Monmouth. I just think the horse will be, I don't have morning lines or anything, but I'm assuming that one will be a big price to mess around with. Dead limit, I thought the horse was going to probably be over bet relative to chance. And from that 10 post at Monmouth, having a negotiated trip, I didn't love. I'd certainly use as a backup in any pick bets I was playing. And obviously you don't have overconfidence in the horse because you listed 4 others. So I think we're basically in lockstep there that this is a spread and an interesting race. I have to say, curious what you think as a competitor. This is a change this year. In previous years, this race has been run 2 weeks earlier before Belmont Stakes weekend. I love running it in this spot on the calendar in conjunction with this Haskell preview day, just because, the races have been fine in other years, but this is a really interesting card. Do you like Pick Your Prize in this spot, or would you prefer to see it in the other spot, or are you agnostic?
No. I like it here too. I like it here. I think anytime you have an opportunity to get away from some of the cheaper races, wherever you're having contests, and have some of the higher profile races, I think it's just a better opportunity.
Good stuff. Lots more about contests this year. This is one of our favorites, though. We'll see if JK can defend his title when it comes to Saturday. Remind you one more time, monmouthpark.com/handicapping-contests. If you want to get all the info, we want to see in the money players on the board. Let us know in the comments. Are you playing in the Pick Your Prize contest? Who's your best bet at Monmouth on Saturday? We want to hear from you. Trying to be better about responding to these contests, to these comments, now that we're through the chaos of the Triple Crown. While you're here, subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel. We know a lot of you aren't. Next major goal, I don't know if we should call 17.5 a major goal, or if we should just push right on to 20. I'll keep that decision in my back pocket for now. But we love having you here, and we appreciate the views and the comments, even the snarky ones. Yes, we like those too. Good stuff. Reach out if you have any questions about contests. You can find me in themoneypodcast.com. Hit that contact button, goes right to my email, or reach out to the aforementioned Brian Skirka at Monmouth, who does such a great job and has been a partner since day one within the Money Media, and we really appreciate that. For our friends at Monmouth Park, for Jonathon Kinchen, for our friends at 10 Strike Racing and Therapeutic Horses of Saratoga, our founding partner and charity partner, respectively. This show's been a production of In the Money Media. I'm Peter Thomas Fornatale. May you win all your photos.